Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's Mystic Brew with another reading for you. I'm not going to lie, this energy feels, I don't like it. As you can tell, I'm giving Matrix, I'm giving Trinity, it's giving protective Mama Bear. That's how I feel right now. I feel very protective because the energy that's been unfolding, and this is something that's been unfolding for at least about a month now, feels very intrusive. And again, this isn't to create any fear. Please know that this collective, you are very divinely guided and protected. You have a spiritual army at your beck and call who fights for you. And it feels like you are on the precipice of a major life change, and there is some information, some clarity, some insight that needs to be shared with you. I even made notes of how I want this reading to go because there is a lot that I felt called to pull, many different divination tools. So we might be here for a while. So if you need to pause and grab a snack or a beverage or something, please do. Now, there are a couple things I wanted to share with you. These are phrases, terms, things that have been coming up over the last month that feel tied to this energy, in case you have also been seeing it, or if this is helpful for you, in case you want to go down the rabbit hole on your own after this. I will say, just off top, my throat feels very tight. So there is suppression here of your voice, of the truth, and there is deceptive energy that's coming through here. Now, some terms that keep coming up: liminal space, destiny swapping, karmic interference, and 0 point. The energy of this reading feels very much like you are in a liminal space, and perhaps you have been in this space for quite some time. Now, if this is a new term for you, liminal space is like a transitional space. The best sort of imagery I've seen to illustrate this is like a long corridor with many different doors. And it's just your choice of which door you want to walk through. So it's kind of like the in between. And this is what feels like where you're at and perhaps have been. It almost, it's giving kind of one foot in this world, one foot not in this world. And again, there's a choice that needs to be made, and it just seems like there's hesitation. And at the same time, it feels like there's karmic interference that's getting in the way of you making this decision. So liminal space keeps coming up. Destiny swapping keeps coming up. Now, with destiny swapping, again, you are protected. Your destiny is written. And still, it feels like there is energy around you that is attempting to take your destiny. Now, it's not going to succeed, mainly because whatever or whoever this energy is also underestimating the mental fortitude and strength that is required to achieve your destiny. You are a very strong person. You have more strength than I think you even give yourself credit for. Your mental strength, your emotional strength, your spiritual strength. Still, there is energy around you, and it may be more than one person. Again, we'll get into it. That knows what's written for you and wants to take that. How do you recognize this energy? Pay attention to people who are envious, jealous, who monitor you all the time, who kind of like frenemy energy, who kind of give backhanded compliments, who humble you, who copy you, who imitate you. This is very, these are like clear signs and alarm bells going off that this person is essentially trying to mimic you, trying to be you, but they could never. Let's be clear, they could never. However, again, this is them trying to siphon and steal what's written for you. Something that came up with this as well is to come up with a code word with your spiritual team. This is a conversation that you have with your spiritual team. Do not share it with anyone. Let them know, and maybe you give it a time frame. If there is anyone currently in my energy who is attempting to swap destinies with me or is not in alignment with my highest good, reveal them to me by having them speak this word within the next week or whatever. And the word you choose a word that's not often said, something that wouldn't be in normal conversation. And that may be a signifier for you if it comes up. Now, again, it may surprise you. So tread lightly, think about this. And should it come up, there just might be some boundaries that you need to place with this person, or just recognizing where you need to pull your energy back, if not cut them off completely. Now, the 0 point, again, there is a sense of needing neutrality. You may be someone who fluctuates between the extremes a lot. Now, it's going to get a little mind bendy today, okay? Because there's also this feeling that it may be another version of you that's attempting to swap destinies with you. I know. A great show that illustrates this. If you have Apple Plus, please watch Dark Matter. It is a series and it illustrates this beautifully. There may be a version of you, because again, we live in a multiverse. There are infinite versions of you and infinite lives that you are living all at once. And that may be part of the hesitation, because you may be able to tap into different lives that you are living. And so you create the liminal space because you can't choose. There is a fear of commitment here. And the fear of commitment is also stemming from this desire for perfection, the perfect life. That doesn't exist, not in the way that you might think. The perfect life is the life that you are fully invested in. Perhaps you have had parts of you invested in many different lives, and so nothing's really taking off. You are being asked to commit to a life path. Make a decision. Now, again, this karmic interference, it may be people around you, it may be karmic energy that you are still carrying from previous versions of you, other versions of you that are trying to ambush, infiltrate your current timeline in making this decision. Outdated beliefs, patterns, behaviors, whatever else. Now, there's a plane. I don't know if you can hear it. Travel may be significant. I mean, we're all traveling a little bit. We're doing a little time travel. Okay. So the 2 books that we're going to start for the bibliomancy messages, I felt drawn to pull from Women Who Run with the Wolves. Great book if you've never read it. And the Book of Enoch. So let's start with the Book of Enoch. Actually, let's start with some deep breaths. Let's ground. Look at this incense coming straight towards me. I love when it spirals. Sometimes I read smoke. Yeah, it looks like that's beautiful. Actually, it started with two separate paths and now it's kind of merging into one. There's a also what I call a scroll. It looks like a scroll that's unfolding, which for me signifies sacred information. Well, let's get to it. Get in a comfortable position, hands down to ground, hands up to receive whatever you feel you need. And at your own pace, 3 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Hearing crows outside as well. Crows may be significant for you. All right, let's start with the book of Enoch. Spirit, please lead me to a page with a message for whoever this is for at this time. Chapter 67. So 67 may be a significant number for you. That is also number 13, very divine number, which reduces to a 4, so foundations. This is about Noah's records, incarceration of angels, and prophecy of their eternal torment in the lake of fire. I'm going to read. Okay, I'll read up to chapter 68. And in those days the word of God came unto me, and he said unto me, Noah, thy lot has come up before me, a lot without blame, a lot of love and uprightness. And now the angels are making a wooden building, and when they have completed that task, I will place my hand upon it and preserve it. And there shall come forth from it the seed of life, and a change shall set in so that the earth will not remain without inhabitant. And I will make fast thy seed before me forever and ever, and I will spread abroad those who dwell with thee. It shall not be unfruitful on the face of the earth, but it shall be blessed and multiply on the earth in the name of the Lord. And he will imprison those angels who have shown unrighteousness in that burning valley, which my grandfather Enoch had formerly shown to me in the west among the mountains of gold and silver and iron and soft metal and tin. And I saw that valley in which there was a great convulsion and a convulsion of the waters. And when all this took place, from that fiery molten metal and from the convulsion thereof in that place, there was produced a smell of sulfur, and it was connected with those waters. And that valley of the angels who had led astray mankind burned beneath that land. And through its valleys proceed streams of fire, where these angels are punished who had led astray those who dwell upon the earth. But those waters shall in those days serve for the kings, and the mighty and the exalted, and those who dwell on the earth for the healing of the body, but for the punishment of the spirit. Now their spirit is full of lust, and they may be punished in their body, for they have denied the Lord of spirits, and see their punishment daily, and yet believe not in his name. And in proportion in the burning of their bodies becomes severe, a corresponding change shall take place in their spirit forever and ever. For before the Lord of spirits none shall utter an idle word. For the judgment shall come upon them, because they believe in the lust of their body and deny the Spirit of the Lord. And those same waters shall undergo a change in those days. For when those angels are punished in these water springs shall change their temperature, and when the angels ascend, this water of the spring shall change and become cold. And I heard Michael answering and saying, This judgment wherewith the angels are judged is a testimony for the kings and the mighty who possess the earth, because these waters of judgment minister to the healing of the body of the kings and the lust of their body. Therefore, they will not see and will not believe that those waters will change and become a fire which burns forever. All right, so sheesh. The LA fires definitely came up in my mind as I was reading that, but also false prophets. Obviously, lust came up many times. So, in that passage, there is a need to recognize, which makes me think of the devil card in tarot. Again, I know the devil card can be very scary and it creates imagery and an understanding that can be sometimes limited. That energy is simply energy that is hyper focused and attached to materialism. There is, oh, that's interesting. Okay, so perhaps part of your indecision is because of materialism, of wealth, career, job, focus, material things, which is funny because that was a theme in the show I mentioned, Dark Matter. You're being reminded that the materialism may not be the answer to what you think you need or want for this life path. There is a need to remember the spirit. Now, again, going back to the devil card is associated with Capricorn, not because Capricorns are the devil. Okay, relax. As a Capricorn, Capricorn energy is very much goal oriented. It is the sea goat. Many people don't realize that. It's not just the goat that climbs the mountain. It is the sea goat, which means it has a fish tail, which means it can actually go into the depths of emotion as well. That's why its sister sign is Cancer. However, when not in balance, the materialism, the greed, the lust, the envy, the toxic energy that is attached to the material realm can blindside you and become your main focus, which then overrides the spiritual need for connection, community, love, empathy, compassion, intuition. There's also a sense that intuition has been pushed to the side. Again, and we'll see with the cards and what else comes up during this reading, but there is just a sense of this battle, perhaps internally, which is then reflected externally in your relationships, between a life of grandeur, wealth, riches, all the high-tech, fancy things you could ever dream of. And I'm not saying that to shame or judge. I'm just saying there is a hyper focus of that at the cost of something else. And perhaps that something else is your actual fulfillment. That's interesting because this also came up in the cards for this week's energy read. If you're subscribed to my newsletter at returntoself.me, every Monday morning I drop the weekly astrological forecast and energy read that I do for the collective. And these themes came up, so this might be connected to that as well. Okay, let's move on to women who run with the wolves. Spirit, please guide me to a message for this collective at this time. Please and thanks. The passing stranger. Although in the story, the farmer taking the duck home seems to be a literary device to further the story rather than an archetypal, oh, I don't know this word, leitmotif about exile, there is a thought here that I think is valuable. The person who might take us out of the ice, who might even psychically free us from our lack of feeling, is not necessarily going to be the one to whom we belong. It may be, as in the story, another of those magical but fleeting events that again came along when we least expected it, an act of kindness from a passing stranger. This is another example of nourishment of the psyche that occurs when one is at the end of one's rope and cannot stand it anymore. Then a something that is sustaining appears out of nowhere to assist you, and then disappears into the night, leaving you wondering, was that a person or a spirit? It might be a sudden gust of luck that brings something very needed in through your door. It might be as simple as a respite, a let up in pressure, a small space of rest and repose. This is not a fairy tale we are talking about now, but real life. Whatever it might be, it is a time when the Spirit, in one way or another, feeds us, pulls us out, shows us the secret passage, the hiding place, the escape route. And this coming when we are down and feeling stormy, dark, or darkly calm is what pushes us through the channel to the next step, the next phase in learning the strength of the exile. I'm sweating. There's heat here. You may have had this experience. There may have been someone. Ooh, my right foot's asleep. There may have been someone who came into your life and left just as quickly. Someone who gave you hope in some way. Someone who maybe even felt like a dream to you. Someone brought you back to your heart, helped you feel again. All right, let's get into some signifiers. If everything has resonated with you so far, this is just additional confirmation to let you know this is for you. Pluto, deep transformation. Water, you might be a water sign or have significant water placements. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Lots of Pisces placements right now, which makes sense. Cancer coming up again. Okay, Spirit, please tell me about this person watching, who this message is for. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. Excuse me. Got the number 4, which we talked about with the number 13 earlier. Ascendant and sun. So you may have a water sign as your ascendant, Cancer rising, Pisces rising, Scorpio rising. You may have your sun conjunct your ascendant, so in your first house. You may be a life path 4. It's interesting because 4 is in numerology is foundation. It's stable ground, which tells me that you have been on a path of really solidifying your foundation. It's also making me think of the fourth house, even though I know the fourth house is a different card in the deck. But there's something about the fourth house that's coming up here as well. So that's your ancestry, your roots, your emotional self, and the foundation of your birth chart. The sun is the ego identity. Your ascendant is who you introduce to the world. It is your personality. It's also your body. And the imagery of this card, again, makes me feel like there is deep integration that's been happening for you in sort of reclaiming all the parts of yourself again, really coming together in a way that is solid. Four is also the number for Cancer. So again, Cancer ascendant or Cancer sun coming up here. Let me see if there's anything else. Anything else? $11. Ooh. And Grand Cross. Venus fixed. You may have a Venus sign, or your Venus sign may be in a fixed sign. So Aquarius, Taurus, Scorpio, Leo. There is a lot of power here with the number 11. It may also be a significant number. You may see 1111 a lot. I kind of want to read from the guidebook for this, for the 11 card specifically. Oh, I opened to 4. Might as well read it. Okay, the key terms: the builder, teacher, systematic, balance, square, practical, methodical, and structured. In its light form, the 4 is the number of the builder. It is methodical and practical to a fault. It values systems and structure above all else. They operate from a place that believes rules are made to be followed. They are the most reliable and dependable of all the numbers and tend to take on managerial roles in life. 4s are shining their brightest when they have a strict routine and are in highly structured environments. 4 is also the emperor in tarot, divine masculine energy. In the shadow, the 4 can be inflexible and resistant to change. It is habitual and struggles to adapt to new ways of thinking and being. They can also be extremely stubborn, believing that their way is the best way. They need to be open to other interpretations and ways of being in order to counter their rigid need for structure and order. So the question is, what foundations am I currently focused on building? Resistant to change is also, and stubbornness is a trait of fixed signs as well. So that makes sense. All right, let's look at 11. The psychic, spiritual leader, intuitive, insightful, old soul, depth, cosmic healer. In its light form, the 11 is the number of the psychic and spiritual leader. They possess psychic gifts and have a deep inner knowing that is stronger than all other numbers. They are old souls, even ancient, and visionaries, having lived many lives accruing universal spiritual wisdom and knowledge in order to share it with the world. They are natural-born healers and often favor intuition over rationality. They also possess almost completed traits of the number 2, as the master number 11 adds to 2. In the shadow, 11 can be shy, which is in the lyrics, and impractical, oftentimes resisting their psychic gifts. They struggle tremendously with feeling like an outsider or different for their intuitive gifts. For the 11, their restlessness can only end when it chooses to answer its sacred calling. Often, they find themselves treading a narrow line between glory and self destruction. And the question here is, what psychic information is trying to present itself to me? So, again, even with the numerology, we're seeing a pattern here of this sort of, maybe this is part of the interference. There is, ooh, oh, excuse me. Oh, not my left eye twitching. There seems to be an imbalance, or your mind and your intuition at odds. The material, the number 4, and the spiritual, number 11. For whatever reason, it feels like you have convinced yourself to believe that you have to choose one. And maybe you do. However, again, it feels like, I'm just going to say it because it's coming to my mind. If you choose what you're spiritually being called for, this will inevitably happen because this is abundance. This is your calling. But again, it's like there is a 3D mindset that's being stuck in whatever this stability and security is that you have been striving for. That perhaps the spiritual component threatens or challenges in ways that makes you uncomfortable, which of course it does, because it asks you to rely on faith. It asks you to believe in something that you cannot prove or show evidence for. All right. If all of that resonated with you, then let's get into your perspective of what's going on right now for you in regards to this path that you are choosing. Yeah, let's do the tarot. Actually, yeah. All right. All right. What is the collective's perspective on this transition? Please and thank you. Oh, yeah, see, Two of Pentacles. There's a choice you got to make, and you don't know which one. So you feel it. You have multiple priorities. Tell me more. You're weighing out your options. Two of Wands. You may be seeing repeating twos. Again, another card of choices and decisions. Hold on. Two more. Yeah. Okay. We're going to confirm these, but let's start with this. You got the Two of Pentacles, Two of Wands, Knight of Cups in reverse, and the Chariot in reverse with the Fool in reverse. So even, which again, just confirms what we just talked about, your connection, your intuition, your psychic gifts. The guidance that you're getting isn't coming from nowhere. You're tapped in. I'm hearing so many planes. I don't know if there's something to do with travel that's significant for this collective, Perhaps part of the decision you have to make is maybe a move or traveling somewhere. But you know that there is a decision you need to make. And I think you feel the sense of urgency because there is stagnancy that you're experiencing. So you're aware that you're sort of in this in between transitional phase. And it feels like the paths are your comfort zone, what you've always known, or the path you've never taken, which is unknown. And that scares you. You may even ask yourself, should I stay or should I go? Might be a question that comes up for you. However, with the two of wands coming up upright, I think you are really in it's like I don't think you've made a decision, but I really feel like you're thinking about this heavily. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe you need to stop thinking and start feeling. Because we got the Knight of Cups in reverse. And again, the Knight is not the most stable or mature. But again, that's okay. With the Knight of Cups in reverse, it feels like there is some immaturity here that's blocking your ability to make this decision. This is a card of avoiding conflict, of vanity, of being unrealistic in some way, of jealousy, disappointment. There's just a fear that's coming up here, and it's almost like you're creating it. You know that you need to make a decision, there's a choice, and you keep weighing out your options. We've been talking about that the whole time, weighing out the options. One is going to call for you to do things the way you've always done them. The other is going to ask you to show up differently. And that might be part of the fear. You don't know who this person is. But again, with the Chariot in reverse, it's creating even more obstacles. This is your perspective. You're experiencing, okay, you feel powerless in making this decision. And you may even feel like you just want to give up. There's no movement, there's no direction, there are obstacles. You may even feel aggression, frustration. But there is a lack of self-discipline, which goes back to what I was saying in the beginning. You're not committing to anything. It feels like you keep waiting for someone to make the decision for you, and that's how you keep giving your power away. So perhaps you feel powerless because you keep giving it away. The choice is yours. But again, you feel it's almost like you feel the weight of a right or wrong decision. Hmm. What's coming to mind is, and this feels specific to people, like if you feel like you have to choose between certain people, choose yourself. When I have readings with clients and it's like love readings, partnership readings, and there's this, oh, I don't know what to do, I don't know who to choose, always choose yourself, which means I choose a life where I am experiencing healthy intimacy, romance, co partnership, teamwork, respect, honesty. All focus on the energy instead of choosing a person. What is the energy that you see for yourself? Instead of focusing on the superficial material, well, they got this and they can do this for me and they got money and whatever else. Okay, great. How do they treat you? Does your heart feel fulfilled? Can you be yourself around them? Do they support you? Are they envious or jealous of you? Because again, don't forget, there also is a thing here with feeling like there's like a worthiness wound. But again, you're equating it to, this makes sense. You're equating it to tangible external things. Perhaps you have not ever experienced material security, abundance, stability in the ways that you would like. However, you have a power with that psychic ability, your intuition, your feeling, your ability to feel, to see in ways that others could never. Going back to the destiny swapping, the envy, the jealousy, people see what you're capable of and they become envious of that. They want that. Meanwhile, you're over here taking it for granted because you're focused on the material aspect of things that you want to achieve. You're not recognizing that the true richness and wealth you already have. Anyway, let's get confirmation for these. Confirmation for the Two of Pentacles. Again, remember, this is your perspective. Yeah, that's good. Eight of Swords in reverse. You're becoming aware. Yeah, you're becoming aware of the fears that are holding you back. And even though it's still scary, it feels like you're ready to release it and surrender to that unknown path. We'll see what comes up for Two of Wands. But for the Two of Pentacles, again, this is balancing different choices, you may even like try to do the most and end up doing nothing because it's like, again, there's a fear of letting go, of sacrificing something in order to fully devote yourself to a path, one path, commitment to one path. Eight of Swords in reverse is also a card of freedom, which again, it's like life is all a paradox. Okay. Perhaps the reason you cannot commit to one path is because you fear losing your sovereignty, your freedom. However, this is what's actually keeping you from experiencing freedom. It's almost like, I'm not sure how to explain this. King of Cups, emotional maturity. It's almost like when your energy is scattered, where is the freedom in that? You're you want a taste of everything because again, perhaps you're someone who likes variety, who is afraid to fully again and well, we've seen that you kind of are fully afraid to fully invest in one lane, one person, one career, one path, whatever. Because you're like, but I really like this. And listen, I'm a polymath. Okay. I get it. I love variety. A lot of people ask me, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite movie? What's your favorite TV show? And I'm like, oh, you want me to choose one? Girl, please. There are many. And yet, when that happens and your energy is scattered in that way, growth is very difficult. It's funny I pulled the dominoes because a visual I would often see is the dominoes all lined up. and guidance that all it takes is for that first one to tip and then everything will will happen from that. Confirmation burp. Excuse me. Now the paradox of that is if you're constantly over here, 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 you're never moving in a direction to tip that first one over. Or you're setting up many little things everywhere. So it inevitably doesn't go to the end because the energy is not focused. When you focus, that's when things happen. And I understand sometimes focus is hard. Undiagnosed ADHD, I get it. However, it feels like you're becoming aware of this. You're recognizing how, oh, I keep trying to do everything that I end up doing nothing. I'm not choosing anything. Clarity for Two of Wands. Ooh, the Tower. Sudden change. Destruction of your old foundation. Okay. That's what it is. That's what you're afraid of. You know that this will change everything. You know it. Because again, this is your perspective. There is an awakening with this decision, and you know that. There is a huge change with this decision, and you know that. And again, it's this feeling of you becoming so used to the path you've always taken. Did you see that? Okay. You becoming so used to the path you've always taken, even though it is not fulfilling. But the path you have not taken requires a version of you that you're not sure you can sustain. You're getting guidance though. You're getting guidance. I think you're paying attention, but I still think you question it, you doubt it. It's like it comes in and you're immediately like, okay, like you overthink it a lot. Because again, there's revelations, there's radical shifts happening. And honestly, it feels like this change may create some chaos. What I'm getting is some people may not be fond of your decision. But again, whose life are you living? Is this your life, or are you living it for your parents or your siblings or your friends or whoever else? Because let me tell you something, they're off living their life. They're not thinking about you when they make their decisions. This is your life. No one's going to live it for you, except these people who are trying to take what you're willing to not choose. Do you understand what I'm saying? If this is for you, you get what I'm saying. Knight of Cups in reverse, Four of Pentacles. You're holding on really tightly to something. Security is coming up so strongly here. This is a card of security, financial security specifically. What I'm seeing is someone so focused on their material security, which again is not a bad thing, but it's like you're willing to sacrifice. It's, how do I explain this? It's almost like you think, well, if I secure this, then I can get the other thing after. What you're not recognizing is there's a version of you that it would be a sacrifice. Your thought of, I'll just double back once I get this, that may not be an option. That other option may cease to exist. I think you know that. Perhaps this is why you're so scared. Again, your perspective. You're holding on to something very tightly. This may even be your identity or inidentity of yours that you refuse to let go of. The chariot in reverse, five of cups. There's almost a feeling of a missed opportunity here. There's regret with the five of cups. Again, disappointment coming up multiple times, loss, sadness, mourning, feeling abandoned. Oh, okay. Again, this is your perspective. You keep going back and forth on a decision, but then there's also a part of you that's like, why am I even considering this? It's not even available to me anymore. There's a part of you that feels like, what's the point? The time has passed. It's done. And so it's like anytime you get the courage or you listen to your guidance to take that step forward towards whatever this thing is, I'm not going to, it feels like a person, to be honest. I mean, there's been many signs, but again, take what resonates. It might be multiple things. There's also a part of you that then comes in quickly. Again, this is your mind, your shadow, trying to keep you stuck in the cycle you've always known, the inner critic, the assumption, the limitations, the I get my webinar. I'll link it below. That says, why would you go after that? Why would you try? You already tried. Look what happened. That's just going to happen again. Assumptions. Why would this work out? It's never worked out for you before. You're not meant for that type of life, limiting beliefs. You're not good enough, the gremlin. There's so much. That's the karmic interference. It's that karmic energy. Again, remember the destiny swapping, that shadow version of you that's trying to keep you in a life that's not aligned with your destiny. All right, let's get the universe's perspective of this situation. Okay. Ace of Pentacles, new opportunity. All right, universe, what is your perspective on this situation? Yeah, you're stuck in the past. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is definitely about a partnership. Sorry. I'm not sorry, actually. Partnership is beautiful. Divine love is a beautiful thing. That explains the karmic interference too. There may be something really powerful about when you two come together, and that's why there's a lot of energy trying to rip you apart, whether it's your past, whether it's ghosts of the past, whether it's people coming in your life trying to make you forget, make you doubt, make you whatever. Also, there might be a mother figure coming through here. We got the Page of Pentacles in reverse, the Lovers, Nine of Swords, and the Queen of Swords in reverse. So much mental activity. So the universe's perspective, and we will confirm this as well. We got the Two of Cups in reverse at the top too. There is immaturity here. We talked about this. There is foolishness, and there is the potential for a missed opportunity. And with the Lovers here, again, this came out upright. This is divine love. This is a deep soul connection. This is a choice. Balance, unity, union, harmony. But with the Nine of Swords, there's anxiety. You're paranoid. You're overthinking. You're afraid. You may have even experienced depression, nightmares, despair. I know I said there might be a mother figure, and there might be, but this Queen of Swords in reverse feels like your mind. You manipulate yourself. Like I was just saying, as soon as you like come close to making a decision, you talk yourself out of it. This is your gremlin. It's deceitful. It's spiteful. It can be cruel, malicious, bitter. But it does feel like there's an external energy like this around you. It might be a feminine figure, a mother, a friend, a lover, another lover. Perhaps there's someone else in your life that, mm, dang, there might be. Um, Someone who can tell that your heart is elsewhere. They don't like that. But again, you know, misery loves company. The Lovers is divine love. That is felt. It is palpable. It is experienced, even if it's not right in front of people's faces. Like people can recognize when love is present. And it can bring out people's shadows. People who've been hurt, people who feel like that's not in the cards for them, people who feel possessive over you. That was a Threads reading I recently did. And so they can feed that fear into you, fueling that doubt. Confirmation, or I'm sorry, clarity for Page of Pentacles in reverse. Yes, the Queen of Cups. Good. The universe is saying you're approaching this with a Page of Pentacles in reverse energy, which is just like frick, procrastination, lazy, foolish. But you have the ability to embody Queen of Cups, compassion, warmth, intuition, empathy. Okay. I don't know. You take it, leave it. There may be a Queen of Swords in reverse energy in your life, and then a Queen of Cups as well. So someone who is in the flow, who's supportive of you, who is very intuitive, warm, compassionate, and then you have the other energy that's a bit manipulative, cold, bitchy, harsh. That might be something you became aware of, and then you were like, oh, fuck, I made the wrong decision. You may have chosen someone over someone else and realized this was not it, which would explain the Nine of Swords. Anyway, don't take it if it's not for you. Ten of Pentacles, commitment. Listen, commitment is what brings you freedom because you get to commit without having to scatter your energy like we talked about. That's also what brings abundance. That's what I was trying to say earlier. You think you have to sacrifice one or the other. And the reason you feel that way is because you keep choosing the option that makes you forget that when you choose what is true and aligned for you, everything else is also there. Clarity for the lovers. King of Pentacles. Yes. We like the King of Pentacles. He is grounded. He is secure. He is abundant. He is reliable, safe, kind, sensual. Taurus energy. Exactly. This is what I was saying. The lovers, clarified by the King of Pentacles. You keep trying to get to the King of Pentacles by avoiding love, when love is the thing that's going to get you there. Universe's perspective on the situation. It's just reframing and looking at your priorities clearly. And again, this may be from limiting beliefs and things you were fed early on that made you think that, oh, I gotta choose. I can't, there's no way I can have both. Maybe you never saw that. Fair. Maybe you had parents who grew up wanting you to live out their dreams, feeding these fears into you. The universe is showing you that's not true. The abundance you seek is in the love that you're afraid of choosing. And the love that you're afraid of choosing is the love you're afraid of experiencing within yourself. King of Cups again. Nine of Swords. Five of Swords. Feels like pride might be getting in the way here as well. Some sort of competitive energy. It's like you don't want to lose, whatever that means. So you're in your head about it. Again, there's also a fear of conflict, hostility. I want one more for that. Oh my God, excuse me. Excuse me. We're releasing these throat blockages. One more for the Five of Swords and Nine of Swords. Ten of Cups. You're afraid that this is too good to be true. Man, you really work against yourself. Ten of Cups, again, divine love. You got that twice from the universe. The universe's perspective on this situation. Bliss, divine love, harmony, alignment, family, fulfillment, emotional stability, joy. You may fear family, your own family, having your own family, children, being a parent. I think I mentioned that earlier. So you may be more career focused, just wanting to get that money, secure the bag. I get it. Again, Capricorn, I get it. However, there is still this longing for the type of connection, companionship, and love. Again, dark matter, Apple Plus. So aligned with this. It's like you want this, and there's a part of you that's willing to admit that. And then again, right after comes the voice of You can't do that. You're going to be just like this person. You're going to be a horrible parent. You don't know how to raise a family. You don't It's just like every fear, the paranoia. Your family has played a role in this as well. Queen of Swords in reverse. Nine of Cups. You're afraid of getting everything you've ever wished for. Yeah, Queen of Wands in reverse at the bottom. Three of Swords in reverse at the top. That's good. You're releasing the pain, forgiveness, apologies, recovery, self love. You're healing. You've been healing, but there's still a lack of self worth that gets in the way here. You may also be a bit temperamental or just have low confidence. Infidelity may have been an issue here as well. Drama. Yeah. There's a cycle that wants to close out, but the moon, the world in reverse, Queen of Wands with the moon showing up again. I don't know. I don't know. What's your relationship like with mom? What did she teach you? What did she model for you? There is, it's almost like you know the level of success and satisfaction and achievement and abundance and richness, not just materially, but emotionally, that you can experience with this. This is the universe's perspective. It's telling you, but you get in your head and you keep talking yourself out of it. It's almost like you've become so comfortable with not getting what you want that you talk yourself out of the things that you want. Because to admit that you want, not even just admit that you want them, to admit that you want them and actually move towards them takes a lot of vulnerability and courage. It takes recognizing, I may not get this. I may go after everything and not get it, which I don't even think is truly the fear. It's more about what happens if I do get it. Am I going to fuck it all up? That's the fear. You're being shown Queen of Cups, King of Pentacles, the Lovers, Ten of Cups, Nine of Cups. No, but you keep thinking that you will. Universe's perspective. Okay, let's talk about this karmic interference. Which deck do I want to pick? Let's do the Psychic Tarot. Spirit, what is this karmic interference, please? And thank you. Good morning. Mm-hmm. Literally. Wow. Okay. I be knowing y'all book a session with me. All right. Um, Trapped in fear, a mental card at the bottom. Top of the deck, hope, but it was in reverse. Mental conflict, suffering in silence, another mental card. Emotional withdrawal, fulfillment of wishes. You are so afraid of getting what you want that you have convinced yourself it's not even possible. The karmic interference is your mind. I still believe there are influences externally, but the biggest is your mind. And because of that, when external influences feed into what you have already convinced yourself is true because of your fears, you latch onto it. It's easier for you to hold on to the fear than to the hope. Of course it is, because the fear doesn't require you to do anything differently. With emotional withdrawal here, you've experienced pain emotionally. Perhaps you've gone through an experience that has shown you a level of grief that has just made it feel almost never again. And I am witnessing you with compassion. And you're right, never again. But never again doesn't always have to mean never opening your heart again. This experience may be completely different. But again, you keep replaying a narrative in your mind and suffering in silence. I don't even think this other person knows that you feel this way. You have been going through so much conflict on your own. So you may be avoidant. You may deal with some avoidance. It's almost like you'd rather just hold on to the story that you've convinced yourself is true than find out the truth. Even if what you've convinced yourself is true is worse than the truth, you've become very comfortable with that pain. Again, that identity, the identity of the person who just is always struggling. It's a victim mindset, honestly. Sorry. Aren't you ready to break out of that? Stop acting like you're the victim. You're doing it to yourself. Take responsibility for your role in this suffering. You've already convinced yourself there's nothing that can be done with this. If you truly believed that, then why aren't you letting it go? Exactly, because you don't truly believe that. You want to believe that because then you think it frees you from the fear of having to change. Clarity for mental conflict. Recognition and reward. Again, this feels like what you think you have to sacrifice. You want that recognition. You want a reward for your efforts. But again, what makes you think that that's not possible? Interesting. I'm going to say it because it came up. For someone, perhaps your route to getting what you've wanted in regards to recognition, reward, material wealth, whatever else up until this point required some, how do I say this? I'm seeing the devil card again. It's like you may have had to participate or do some things that you know you could not and would not do if you were in a relationship, in a committed relationship with someone, especially this person. I'm seeing some very risque things And you have convinced yourself that the only way to get to where you're trying to go is that route. And so that might be why you feel like you have to choose, because you can't do that with this person or this relationship or this path. But again, that's rooted in your lack of self worth, that you believe the only way to get the recognition and reward is to use yourself or participate in toxic energy in order to get to where you're trying to go. For whoever this is, if that was for you, you know what I'm talking about. All right, suffering in silence. Oh, two cards. Okay. Destiny, universe. You know this is a part of your destiny, and you know that you're being guided. You are. You are not doing this alone. That's why you can't let it go. The universe is yammering in your ear. You're probably getting a lot of signs and synchronicities. I truly feel like I've not heard this many planes in a really long time. Travel or distance, something is very significant with this group. I don't think you doubt the power of this, the divinity of this. I think you're well aware of it. Again, I feel like you just keep trying to talk yourself out of it. That's that karmic interference. Emotional withdrawal. Yeah. Rest your mind. Ground. Come back to the present moment. Release the past. Triumphant success. You can do it. You're capable. Crown chakra. Again, divine guidance. Fulfillment of wishes. Patience. Deception and envy. Mental card again. Your mind. You may also stand your ground. Spiritual. There is a mask here. Ooh, excuse me. I don't think you've been honest. If I'm going to be honest, I don't think you've been honest. And not necessarily in like a malicious way. I think you haven't been honest with yourself. I don't think you've been honest with whoever is connected to this reading. I think you've worn a mask. You haven't fully revealed yourself. We talked about that even with this. And that might be part of the karmic energy as well. You've worn a mask for most of your life. Perhaps you felt like there was an identity you created in order to be lovable, in order to get the attention that you needed, in order to survive in your environment. And it's like this person created another environment for you where that mask was no longer, not just no longer necessary, but actually hindering the connection. Whereas you needed the mask for all your other connections, this one required you to let that go. And even though that's what your soul craves, it also then requires you to get to know, or remember rather, who was underneath the mask the whole time. And it feels like you worry that that version of you won't get you the accolades, the achievements, the recognition, the rewards that you want, that you seek, that you think is what will fulfill you. This will require patience, whatever this is. It's been a long time coming. I feel like whoever I'm talking to, you've been on a journey for a while. Perhaps you've had a lot of karmic interference over the years, lots of people coming into your path, and lots of betrayal, lots of deception, lots of manipulation, perhaps even from your own family, from the people closest to you, the people you thought you could trust, and then your own mind. Over time, we tend to adopt the voices that we constantly hear and we make it our own. And yet, it feels like with this person, that was the liberation. That was the freedom that you always wanted. You thought the freedom was material, the freedom to do whatever you want, whenever you want. Freedom is rooted in being able to be yourself. And that not only being okay and accepted, but honored and loved in ways that perhaps you've never experienced before. I do want to just touch on the tarot with this to see if there are any external energies. I want to get guidance on that. Because so far, this karmic energy feels internal, which makes sense why I was talking about like it's another version of you that's trying to take your destiny away from you. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. The version of you that is ready to be let go of. Mm. It took me back to the passing stranger passage. Perhaps this passing stranger reminded you of the mask that you were wearing, of your authenticity, of your heart, of your feelings. And that was what you actually needed for the recognition and reward that you seek. You were going down the wrong path. Wrong. It's just a judgment. There is no right and wrong. It's whatever you choose. But given the energy of what I'm feeling, it felt wrong for you. It wouldn't have given you what you thought you wanted. And maybe you thought they were a passing stranger, but it feels like they're still lingering in your energy and you're not sure why. Maybe they're not a stranger. This makes me want to go grab a love deck. Oh, I'll use my sacred symbols in a second. Okay, let's get back to this karmic interference. Spirit, if there are external karmic interferences within this, please reveal that at this time. Okay. Yeah, stand your ground boundaries. So there are some feminine interferences here. One feels like maybe like a friend, and I do that because it's like, well, it's if they're trying to throw you off your path, they're not really a friend, are they? And a mother figure. With the Queen of Cups in reverse, we also have the World card. So again, world travel is significant here. That might be why. This may require you to leave where you've lived or travel more. You know, I don't know. I don't know, you know. And then Page of Wands. Again, with the World card here, there is a sense of completion. That's why you're feeling this so strongly. There's cycles that are ready to be let go of so that you can get out of that liminal space, choose a door, walk through it into this next part of your life. This is evolution. This is the bigger picture. This is fulfillment. Again, world travel, integration. We talked about that with the Ascendant card. However, there is a Queen of Cups in reverse energy. This is someone who is fragile, maybe codependent with you. This feels motherly, but it doesn't have to be. They may be someone who is a bit needy with your energy, has a victim mentality. This is Cancer energy as well. What I'm feeling is guilt. It's almost like there's a sense of guilt in choosing this relationship, this person, this path because of who you may need to detach from or but again it's the codependency, so they're siphoning your energy whether or not you recognize this. They're using you for their own emotional fulfillment. They may be really sensitive, very fragile. And again, I do this because it's giving, again, not dark feminine, toxic feminine. There's a difference. Toxic feminine uses manipulation to get what they want. Dark feminine, honest, truthful, tells it like it is. Darkness does not mean bad, but we can talk about that another time. And then there is this Page of Wands energy, which it's giving like, this can be an extroverted energy, someone who's very passionate in their own way, loves adventure. But again, it's like there's a lack of maturity here. You can't build with this person. They're just, this is a reflection of you, of the parts of you that refuses to ground down and build something. Just ping, 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 ping. What's the squirrel? Squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. What's the next thing to grab my attention? Cutting to justice. Yeah, balance is needed. And honestly, I feel like karmic balance is happening whether you are wanting it or not. All right, I just want to get a little bit on this connection. I am going to get a love deck. Please hold. All right, let's start with I want to know how you feel about this connection first to see. Spirit, please show me how the person viewing this feels about the connection coming up in this reading. Please and thank you. Come on. Mm, wedding rings. Okay. The runner. Fear of intimacy, running away, intensity, letting go. But you got sword and rose, clarity and truth, revelations, honor and protection, determination. I do feel like you feel very protective of this connection, which is kind of sad because what I'm feeling is you think that you need to protect them from you, which is not true. Perhaps because you feel so indecisive, or also because of you know things about yourself in your life that they don't. Because again, you've been wearing a mask and it feels like you are kind of like, let me just not. I think you hold this person to a high regard. You got paradise, happiness and joy, playfulness, enjoying each other, honeymoon phase. I believe that. I think you really experienced true joy and happiness with each other. I think there was a playful nature. Perhaps you felt, again, like I was saying, that connection allowed you to take your mask off. Your inner child was able to come out. However, I also am getting that you may have tried to convince yourself that that was just a honeymoon phase that's not real. But we did get talking, interested, awaiting messages, text calls, emails, talking more. It feels like you're hoping this person reaches out in order for you to have a conversation because, again, we got the runner. So you're not taking initiative. And again, maybe you're not meant to. Check in with yourself. But we also got ascending, sorry. Learning and expansion, transcending, preparing for union, new phase. I think you want to start over. I think you see this person as someone who has really helped you ascend and learn. I think they teach you things, even if they're not aware of it. I think you're someone who really pays attention. All right, let's get some clarity on this. Sword and Rose. Abundance. Okay, so maybe you are recognizing that this person will lead you to the abundance that you seek. But again, it's like, again, you need a positive mindset. That might be part of what the clarity and truth is. You're recognizing how your mind is really screwing with this. Paradise, oh, soulmates, soul connection, partnership, soul contract, life partner. I think you envisioned a future with this person. I don't think, I know you envisioned a future, again, runner at the bottom. You envisioned a future with this person. You know, this is a soul connection. You know, this is life partner material. That's what scares you. Talking, heartbroken, deeply hurt and sad, feeling lost, grieving and despair, breakup. Mm. This really affected you. Picture, you may be looking at old pictures of each other or of them. Nostalgia, wanting to make new memories. Addiction, codependency. Addictions may be coming up as well. Ascending, partying, living in the moment, time with friends, having fun. I'm getting two messages with this. One is this person may have shown you a new way of having fun, like just being joyful, carefree, being in the moment, not worrying too much about the future or ruminating on the past. And at the same time, oh, I'm also getting that part of this ascension was showing you how your partying ways may have been toxic or getting, oh, addiction on the bottom again. It's just staring at me. There was something that was revealed with that passion. You have a lot of chemistry. You burn for this person. Okay, let's see how they're viewing this connection. Oh, not the twin flame card. Ooh. Okay, Spirit, please show how the other person in this connection views this connection. Oh, wow, we got passion again. So they felt it too. You are not alone in feeling that chemistry and that spark. Again, you two had a lot of fun. They had just as much fun with you as you did with them. And again, equal interest. If you've ever questioned if they were as into this as you were, they were. You got, well, they got engagement ring. They saw a future with you. They wanted higher commitment. They saw you as partnership, like partnership material as well. In a way, it feels like they saw you as everything they'd worked towards. Because we also got self indulgence. It does feel like this energy, and we got seduction, which is about third parties, temptation. And then with self indulgence, we have self worth and value, time to heal, shadow work. We got some third party interference. So that may have been something that came up that they are considering when it comes to this connection. They may feel like even though there was this insane chemistry, that you are in a place where you would rather just hook up, date, follow this energy. I mean, it was also very seductive. This energy was seduction and passion. But perhaps they feel like that's with self indulgence, they may feel as though this connection is, they may question if that's all it was for you. They saw it as this, and perhaps if third party and lust and just a lot of interference was an issue, then they may have thought, oh, this person just wants this from me and everyone else and not this. Well, let's see. Let's get some clarity and confirmation. Iana ring. Yeah, they feel strung along. They feel like they viewed you as the one and only, and they feel like your perspective of it was they were one of many, and they were perhaps just a one night stand, or that you want something different. Meeting and talking, building friendship. It feels like both of you want to talk to each other again, but there's fear here. Savoring the moment is there's something that you both did for each other when it came to being present. And again, it feels like you were just so enamored with each other that it's like everything else ceased to exist. And all that mattered was that moment, and you wanted to savor every bit of it, which is beautiful. Seduction. Not today, boundaries and hurt, still upset. Twin flames again. Okay, so they see this as a very significant partnership. They do feel like even though you might be very different, which we can see with engagement ring and then key on a ring, perhaps you had different views of commitment. Even key on a ring says unconventional. They do see you as someone who brings balance. You complement each other in a really beautiful way. I think they also view your connection as something that was very spiritually guided, something that was very out of this world, very mystical, very magical. But this third party situation with not today underneath, I think there was a conversation that was painful that may have required setting a boundary, maybe even cutting communication. Oh, death at the bottom. Yeah. Something ended here, but healing hard at the top. It's sad because it's like you saw your cards, the way you view this relationship, and it was just like, oh my goodness, like we're on cloud nine. This is paradise. Like you viewed this person in a way that they did not receive. Because as you can see with their cards, they felt like they were just a name on a roster, one of many, which is why it feels, which is interesting. Perhaps it's mirroring with the twin flame card, especially. But we talked about your energy being very like, I don't know, in or out, da da da. They may be feeling the same way because they clearly they did not experience what you experienced in when it comes to how you viewed that partnership. Because it's clear from the cards, you valued it. It meant a lot to you. It still means a lot to you. And yet they feel, which goes back to your mask. Perhaps you never really expressed that to them in a way that felt sincere, genuine. Yeah, cutting to poker face, not showing your hand, but again, because of that fear. Okay, what's the universe's perspective on this connection? The butterfly. Butterflies may be significant. We got coffee cup again. So it's this connection helped heal inner child wounds. It's helping release the past. There's evolution and growth here. It does feel like there is room for building a friendship, for meeting and talking. Next phase. Ooh. Oh, mm, yeah. I'm just getting all of them since it's happening. Yeah. Okay. Someone's looking. Might be you, might be them. Again, paradise at the top. Okay. The universe's perspective on this connection. There was a cycle that needed to end between you two because you each helped each other take your mask off. We got the chaser, we got mask. Both of you may have had fears of abandonment, being a chaser in some type of way, codependencies, which came up earlier. So that may be a dynamic, an addiction. that was coming up when it came to your relationships. However, both of you, I think, hid your true feelings. And again, might have been out of fear, out of self protection. So you may each feel kind of deluded by the other. Like, was that real? Was it not? Do they feel the same way? It's hard to tell because neither one of you were completely honest about how you felt. Under the butterfly, we got wedding rings again. So union, marriage, soul connection, everlasting love, devotion, the universe's perspective. This is a soul connection. You also got unconditional love under coffee cup, which is why I feel like that building a friendship is so important as well. You may have never experienced unconditional love in this way. It's always people who wanted something from you or expected you to be a certain way. This is equal giving and receiving, fairness and love, affection returned. Under the chaser, we got cut down, stopping the pattern. You both may also do the silent treatment that's coming up in this card as well. You both needed to stop this pattern of codependency with your relationships. Excuse me. And then we got sword and rose again under mask, clarity and the truth coming out, revelations, honor, protection, determination. Again, the chaser, it's coming from lack of self-worth, not feeling deserving of this, feeling like you have to put on this mask, feeling like you have to be someone that you're not in order to get the things that you want in this life, when the only thing that's going to align with that is being who you truly are. It's the butterfly coming out of the cocoon, spreading its wings and flying. No more hiding from the world. Okay, I know this is so long, but we're still here. I just want to get some messages of love from the universe in regards to this connection. Universe, what is your messages of love in regards to this connection? True love. This love is emotional, physical, and unconditional. Balance. One person is giving too much in this relationship. Chemistry. The attraction you feel is mutual. Vulnerability. You can be completely open with this person. You know that. You know that. But it needs balance. Mastery. You've learned the spiritual lesson. You were teachers for each other, no doubt. You each taught the other what needed to be learned, which is why this is so divine. Now it's just there needs to be a balance within the connection. There needs to be a balance within that connection. I brought out the Cosmos Oracle, which I'm not going to lie to you, I can barely pronounce some of these words. It's very scientific, but it reminded me of the Dark Matter show. So let's get some general guidance moving forward. Spirit, in regards to this situation, what is some general guidance for the collective on how to move forward? Ooh. Y'all, stop it. Stop it. Just want to make sure nothing else flipped over. I'm going to read from the guidebook for this, but I told you in the beginning this is going to be a little weird, right? Because we talked about timelines and destiny swapping and different parallel universes. is a card we got. DNA, anomaly, and magnetic field. You're feeling each other's magnetic pull for sure. I also feel like there's what's coming through too is, which is why I wrote in my notes 808. If you follow me, you know that 808 is a number that I've seen since roughly 2020, which was guidance for me that we were, well, at least I was, but I think I know I'm not alone. We were experiencing two different timelines, two parallel realities at the same time. I'm very sensitive. I could feel the density shift each time we were swapping. The zero in the middle was the void. It is the neutral point. 8 is a karmic number. It's also infinity. We were bouncing between two lifetimes, and this is where you feel in that liminal space, in the void in the middle. You're being asked, which universe are you trying to live in? Where are you trying to be? It also feels like part of that was DNA upgrades for you. Whoever I'm talking to, I don't know that you fully understand how important this life is for you. That's why I think children keeps coming up for you too, because we saw the 10 of Cups and why there's so much fear. You're afraid that you are going to continue the patterns that you experienced with your family, but you are actually the one who's breaking that. You have been restructuring your DNA, rewiring those neural pathways, clearing out cellular memory in order to birth a new lineage. Now, again, even if it's not birthing children, fertility birth can be anything, new consciousness, creative projects, whatever. But there's a reason that this had to come together the way it did. Let's look at the guidebook. All right, parallel universe. Okay. Oh, first line. Oops, sorry. The power of choice. How did you become who you are today? How did you get to where you are? Although all your lived situations, events, and experiences that we have throughout life are important factors, they are not the answer to these questions. They happen to play the role of the apparent ones, but the real determiner is choice. They may appear as the most obvious reasons, but it is choice which plays the key role. Even when we do not have a choice or do not take it, we are still choosing. The apparent ones deal the cards of the game of life, but do not play. So who does? Choice. Every choice that you have made, no matter how small or irrelevant it seemed, attracted threads and threads of energy and has molded who you are today, as if you were a piece of clay dancing softly at the mercy of the rhythm. And with each choice, infinite possible webs transpire in other realities. Many of the things that happen to us do not come through choice, but we always choose what to do with them. The decisions of the universe work in mysterious ways, but always in our favor. Our choices are sometimes correct, and other times we can make them to be. I mean, the alignment. What also came up with that as I was reading was liberation is the power of choice. And we talk about freedom so much. I say this a lot. We talk about freedom so much, but freedom means taking back your power of choice. And lots of people don't recognize that they tend to give that away because taking responsibility for your choices is hard. And sometimes it's easier to blame our circumstances, other people, whatever else, instead of taking responsibility for our own choices. And we talked about this earlier, that powerlessness, letting everything else decide for you when your gift is being able to choose. This is a gift to you. This is not punishment. All right, DNA. It connects us with hereditary information and, in turn, the transmission of this information. There are ancestral patterns traveling through the quantum field towards us to reveal something or someone from our own lineage. This can show itself in a positive way, such as the ability to channel hidden gifts and talents in the family, or those that had not been able to be shown before, as well as in the repetition of patterns that must be healed as they travel towards us to come to light. My throat is closing up as I'm reading this. It feels like there was prosecution or something within your lineage when it came to using your voice, telling the truth, speaking up for yourself. You may have gifts, talents with the voice. I heard casting spells. I don't know. That was severely suppressed throughout the lineage. Again, perhaps out of fear, protection, safety, but you're meant to open this up, especially with your throat. There's something about your voice. Oh my gosh, my neck. That's dark. Um, there may have been people in your family or in your lineage that, trigger warning, that may have been hung, or there's something with the neck, very important. Connect with your inner self by taking 3 deep breaths. You will then feel the information that needs to be healed or shown come from the heart. If it is something which makes you feel bad, cutting the pattern is the way to heal and transform it. If you feel energy that comes with demonstrable gifts, enjoy the qualities that are given to you to bring forward the wisdom of your lineage. Cellular memory consists of the information which is stored in our bodies, emotional, spiritual, and energy. All life experiences, whether we remember them or not, leave a record in our cellular memory. This is how our body stores experiences that we have and have not lived, as it also connects us with the information we have received from our ancestors. A portal. To heal affected cells, glass bottle, water, amethyst. Induce the healing and take the molecules of water from the bottle that have been in contact with the mineral and your intention. To open, receiving channel. Place the stone in the energy center located between the eyebrows, your third eye. So if you have an amethyst, you can heal with that. That was heavy. Anomaly. Ooh, my back is hurting. Hello, where is anomaly? Okay. The originality that defines you. Difference brings forth new things, the unseen, and makes the seemingly impossible possible. Understand difference as a gift and not something which marginalizes you. We talked about this. Difference brings forth new things, the unseen, and makes the seemingly impossible possible. An anomaly is a deviation from what is considered normal, natural, or foreseeable. An anomaly is a change or deviation from what is generally perceived as normal, natural, or predictable. This absolute strength is sometimes forgotten in the copy paste of tri-dimensional plane. No one is superior or inferior to another. We are all unique and incomparable at the same time, as word, verb, and sound coexist in a single space. Celebrate and honor your originality. This is all coming together beautifully. Okay, let's read magnetic field and then we'll begin to close out this reading. The space where things happen. A force field that is always found surrounding a source of magnetic energy. As you move closer to its point of origin, the intensity grows and it disperses at the speed of light. It is here where elements which are sensitive to magnetism interact with it. Outside of this field, no such effects occur. Magnetic forces distribute themselves within the space surrounded by the magnetic source, which makes it or us sensitive to a given force. The field lines converge where the magnetic force is greatest and separate where it is weakest. You're being pulled towards this force, which is going to accelerate your motion forward. You are the anomaly within your DNA. You are that hidden, different, unique factor. Thank you. Excuse me. Oh, I needed that. That was hard to read. So much suppression of the voice. This is you. You're bringing liberation to your lineage in ways you don't even understand. And that's why these parallel universes are what has always been done and the one that you have been preparing for. It's just releasing the fear, releasing the mental traps in order for you to recognize that you are not only good enough, you were born to do this. You were meant to take the path that no one else in your family did. They did their role, they played their part in order to prepare you for this. Again, this change is so much deeper than what you, it's like, it's not about a relationship. It's not about, oh my gosh, am I going to make money? Am I going to get a job? No, this is so much deeper than all of that. And I think you know that too. I don't think you're blind to it. You've been getting the guidance. You understand the depth of this, which is probably why you're so fearful of whether or not you can sustain and hold this. And I'm here to remind you, you were meant to do this. You are the only one who can do this. Don't let that karmic interference get in the way. Don't let your mind get in the way. Don't let those around you who feed into the old narratives and your old ways of being, who distract you, who keep you shackled and tied down to your old identity, basically. Let it go. Let it go. All right, last bibliomancy message, and then we're gonna end it there. This is the Book of Light by Alexandra, Solnado. And these are channeled messages from Jesus, my guy, Yeshua. So this is a little different. You ask a question, you meditate, you choose two symbols, and it leads you to a message. So I'm going to ask what you need to know at this time in regards to this situation. This is just so you can see it. This is the chart of the symbols. You choose your top symbol, your bottom symbol, and then it connects, or I'm sorry, here. And then it connects to a passage number. Okay. What does this person need to know at this time in regards to this message and this situation? Please and thank you. Mm. 79, maybe a significant number. Maybe you're seeing it. 79. Are you serious? This is also on page 113. January 13th, maybe significant. The path. I shit you not. All right, let's see what it says. When people ask heaven questions, they tend to believe that they will always receive positive answers. They are not ready to face loss. They are not ready to be misled. They are not ready to face reality. Just because they have received a sign or been told which path to follow by their higher self, they now believe that they will never again encounter obstacles or crossroads. Nothing could be further from the truth. When heaven points out a path, it may well be the best path to go down. It may well coincide with your original energy. It may well be the path to evolution. It may be all these things. However, if you have to experience something but are not ready for the experience, you will end up facing loss on the path to light. Our path is but one. It is the most truthful, most original, and most accurate. Nevertheless, it is still just a path. And as such, it has bends, obstacles, and stones. Do not forget, everything in matter has two sides, good and evil, in equal amounts. But this path has an advantage over all the rest. It is yours. As long as you do not abandon your path, everything that your soul experiences throughout this journey, everything that you need to experience, will enhance your evolution. This is the advantage it has. I never said that living was easy, but no opposing path can help you evolve. Any path that does not have your original energy will make things even harder for you. Therefore, choose your path, the path that is yours, the one that has your color and texture. Stay on that path. And don't forget, never stop feeling. If you stop feeling, your energy will automatically be removed. And regardless of the tight spots you get into, regardless of the deviations and confusion, this path has something advantageous, something that no other will ever have. This path will lead you to me. Ooh. Emotions are happening. This book always makes me cry. Mm. What a beautiful way to sum up this reading. There is a path that is fueled by your ego, and your ego is not bad. It's your identity. But perhaps it has been unhealthy and imbalanced for a really long time. And then there is the path that God has created for you. And you know it because you recognize yourself in it. It accepts you as you are, for who you are. It does not minimize you. It does not diminish you. It does not ask you to be anything other than you. That's how you know it's yours. And the choice is yours. The choice is yours. The path. Wow. Oh my goodness. I know this was a long one and it took many, which is just a beautiful illustration of what we just talked about. This reading alone took many different turns and plot twists and the energy from where we started, from where we are right now. It started in this protective, like, what's happening, who is getting in the way, the obstacles, the challenges, the things that make you doubt whether or not you're on the right path. And again, this is something I talked about on Threads, and I'm going to share it on here very quickly because it's important and it's coming up. A lot of times people talk about the path of least resistance, that when you're in alignment, you are then on the path of least resistance. Yes, and the path of least resistance is also the path of the most mental resistance. This will fight you when you find the path of least resistance to make you not get on it. It will tell you you're not worthy. It will tell you you're not good enough. It will make you doubt yourself because the path of least resistance is aligning with the universal frequency. It is your path. That's why there's no resistance in that way. There's no resistance in you recognizing in that movement because you're in alignment. But there is resistance with your mind. In order for you to get to that path, you experience those challenges and obstacles because they refine you, they sharpen you in order to be the version of you that you can even recognize that path. And then the last hurdle is getting over this. Sometimes you get so comfortable with the struggle, with the challenge, with having to overcome things, that being able to receive and coast, even though that's what you want, frightens you. Your gremlin, your inner critic, is the loudest when you're about to take a risk because that risk requires vulnerability. I talk about that in my webinar. When this starts getting loud, it's because you're getting closer to something really sacred and meaningful. Your shadow knows you're about to take a risk. Your ego identity knows you're about to take a risk. And it thrives off predictability because predictability feels safe. What a beautiful reading. Thank you for watching. Thank you for allowing me to deliver this reading for you. I'm sending you so much love and many blessings. If you would like a personal reading, my information is in the description below. Please subscribe to the newsletter because I have some great announcements coming up. Returntoself.me. Don't want you to miss that. Otherwise, take care of yourselves. As always, believe in yourself. Believe in the guidance that you're getting. Believe in your ability to create something that you've never experienced before. And the reason you haven't experienced it is because you were the one meant to create it.